Let your curiosity rise.
Madbricks webcast,
Where the human spirit flies. Madbricks webcast. Where the human spirit flies.
Hey, welcome to the Medbix Webcast. Sorry that there is some lighting mishap is there, but we will fix it. Aura, probably, that is. This is Ramana Namaraju. I'm the host of the Medbix Webcast. We have a interesting, administrative side of the healthcare. We have some kind of a artificial intelligence help. But today we are going to talk with a guest who is expert in that area. But yesterday I went to the a software event, the Silicon Valley event. It was interesting, but so anyway, before I do this, let me bring my co-host. She is a beautiful, blonde, brainy, all those together. Dr. Susan Davis, welcome. Welcome.
Romana, hello.
Yeah,
good evening.
welcome.
How are you?
After a long time. I wanted to, just as I went to the, I don't want to criticize too much about AI, but it was a tough meeting for me. I'm learning a little bit more how bad, how good it is. The entire AI ecosystem is. But some people are doing good, like our guest is coming up. Before that, I want to talk with you about this one. Mr. Kanwal Rekhi, I went to his house recently, and he is a code breaker. Is a movie documentary is presenting May 9th, May 9th in Kabuki Theater in San Francisco. Hey, Navya, can you bring that image back to the can you bring that image on the WhatsApp?
He wanted to characterize.
No. She is not paying attention. There is an image I sent you in WhatsApp. But anyway, 5 o'clock, she doesn't pay attention sometimes.
Oh, yes, she does.
Kabuki Theater, 5 o'clock, they are doing a premiere show for Mr. Kanwal Rekhi. Only one show in the entire San Francisco, breaking the code. Okay.
Oh,
Kanwalji, thank you. We'll be there.
Romana, it was written and produced by his son as well, right?
Written and produced and documentary done by his son.
Yeah,
He's a filmmaker. He's a filmmaker. He makes films.
Yes, so very exciting. If I were you, I would go and see that. Are you
Los Angeles premiere house full, they said, and he's a father of Silicon Valley in that sense. He brought so many Indians. He made the India indelible mark in India, Indian diaspora, and because of him, we are all here because he is the origin of that space. While he's rich and he was a very down to earth man, I can tell you. With my interactions with him, I know him for a long time, 25, 30 years. I've seen him for a long time. But that is a show I'm going to go, and I hope that they do somewhere in Florida. You can go and see it.
Oh, I'm jealous. I'd love to see it. Anything by Kanwal and or his family, is going to be extraordinary.
Yeah. So that was a good one, so what is going on with you? Last 1 week or 2 weeks, what's going on?
Just living my life, living my best life, Romana. It's lovely. We were talking with our guests a little earlier before we went live. It's mid 80s down here in the Florida. It's awesome. We're heading into summer. We're getting ready to have a big full moon across the world here on Friday night. I'm just living large. Nothing special other than the amazingness of hanging out with you and all your amazing guests. Best life.
So now let us talk about our guest. I was there in the beginning stages of HIPAA, Health Information Portability Act, that is started by, I think, during Obama time, Privacy Act. Because the reason was at the time they were selling all the medical data to other people. They're using discriminately, and then they're using somebody has a cancer, they can discriminate. The insurance companies can discriminate them, so they won't give a policy to them. So or they it is a big problem, to disclosing this information. They added a regulatory aspect to it. To that is the main goal of that, actually preventing marketing companies to tell all the things about the insurance companies and other things. The main focus is the insurance company. That is what they don't want to disclose the personal information before they get the insurance. That is Obama's Obama Act. But there is a lot of problems up and down with this one. It's not a healthcare system, as you know, Susan, is a chaotic system. It is a complex and chaotic system we have. That is always the case. But anyway, the HIPAA is one of the regulations. If you want to apply for medical device, there is several kind of things. My friends applied for EKG machines. I remember QRS card, that you have to go through, years and years. If it is then they came up with a 510K, new kind of a shortcut for if it is already approved technology methodology, they approved faster. So this kind of a new things are all came in, and the regulatory burden, to bring for example, to bring a drug to market, it costs about $1 billion, and then 5 years minimum. So it may not be 50-50. Yeah.
And HIPAA is just one. HIPAA itself, is like 18 parameters deep. It's not just one, like HIPAA's one line item. It's like 18, and that's one part of compliance. So I'm looking forward to our guest tonight, because it's depending on what they're talking about, depending what the innovation is, what the new solution is. It could have 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, 10 layers. HIPAA being one part of one layer that is 18 parts behind that one. So it's not a small task at all.
I wanted to remind one of the late passed away right now is my good friend Gary Matthews. He was one really. He helped me to get into the healthcare system and all the healthcare regulatory aspects of it, and it explained to me. That's why I can talk with a lot of healthcare and broad spectrum wise, because Gary was there for me, and he was one of the truest gentlemen, and he helped me quite a bit understanding these regulatory aspects. But I'm not expert by any means. It's just I can do the basic touching. But let me introduce you our new guest, and is a guest joining from Toronto, Canada, where my brother was a nuclear engineer in Toronto, Canada. For a long time, he was working on nuclear fusion. I went to school in Montreal, Canada. So Canada is my dear to my heart. Canada is always dear to my. I went to school in Edmonton, Alberta. I went to school in Montreal. All my family was, a lot of part of the family was located in Toronto and Canada. Montreal was main. I studied in Montreal, but let me bring our guest to Toronto. Is coming from Toronto, Canada. Dogan Akbulut.
Don't butcher his last name. We'll let him say it.
I have a Turkish roommate. He explained to me, still is a hard time for me. Very hard time I'm having. But let me bring him. Welcome, Dohan. I let him skip the last name.
Hello.
How do you say your last name? I'm struggling.
It's Dogan, and then last name will be Akbulut. I know it's kind of like sounds weird, but it is what it is. So
No, it sounds
Dogan.
wonderful. Excellent. Welcome. Good evening.
I appreciate it.
You know what? I met about a Vietnamese doctor. His last name is like 10 letters. KNUYGNN. Then how do you say new? I said, why did you put NU? It's a very interesting. My name is same problem.
As if Indian names don't have like 14 syllables.
Yeah, we are all guilty as charged. Yeah.
I mean, the ones are the confusing. Sometimes they use the first name, last name, middle name. I'm like, which one you want me to say?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
true.
it's,
It's true.
all 26 letters we have. Let me ask you a question, Dogan. You're with John. You co-founded the DSALTA. I'm more interested in. I wanted to ask you a question. Tell me your background a little bit. But I'm also at the same time. I'm very much interested in your gallon app, water app you did in Dubai. It caught
Yes.
my eye. Can you explain your background a little bit? What is your educational background, professional background, and then gallon app?
Of course, of course. First of all, thank you for having me. It's great to share this, with you all. And so this is Dogan. I'm Turkish, and my background is I'm a software engineer. I studied computer science, but I never liked being inside the business and working for someone. And when I was 18 years old, I lived in Dubai for almost like 2 years, and I was trying to order on the tab, and I don't know how to do this. And you have to find a number, trigger, and then dial. Sometimes water is good, sometimes pH is low. I'm like, I have to build something, bring all those water brands inside so anyone can order and use it. And suddenly, in less than 6 months, 800,000 people were using something like similar to Uber, but it was just for a gallon of water, like a large one. And I'm like, you know what? 18 years old, already this much people are using, and I have to come back to Canada for my education. And this company is called My Dubai. It's kind of like the biggest water company there. They're like, hey, we want to buy your software. I'm like, sure, give me some money. And then I just exited and came back to my education. My second startup was like Paylor, which was knowledge-based management. The reason,
So what it
unfortunately,
does? Sorry to interrupt you. What that actually what app does to the people?
so basically, like you order the water, you drink the water in Dubai for your food, for your drinking just regularly. So basically, you can order from our application, so it will deliver to your home every time. So you can see other brands, you can see the reviews, you can see different type of size and pricing. So you can see what is more convenient for you, what is affordable, what is best for your location. Because normally, like how you will discover this kind of like water brand if they came to your door and give you some paper there, and then you have their number, and then you will call and they will bring the water. But this is
Ah,
very old style. But I'm
you
like, I
changed
don't like
that.
this. Yes. Now I
Very
literally
impressive.
create somewhere around like 20 different type of brand of waters inside that app. So basically, once they order, they get commission, and then we send it to their system, and then they deliver. So we don't do anything. We just basically there providing the system and then get some commission.
I love it.
Interesting.
So cool. Just quickly, my first time ever using, the food delivery app, I was actually in San Francisco, and I thought I ordered 4 liters, and I ordered 4 gallons. This poor guy.
It's,
So I
it's a
can
great.
appreciate your app.
It's kind of like culture there, like basically, literally, like a family, they finish almost like one entire gallon, which is like, I'll say 20 liter of water in one day, and you need constantly, someone have to bring almost like every 2 to 3 days, 2 to 3 bottles. So it's a lot to maintain, and they have to take the empty gallon. So it's literally the entire conversation was happening inside our app, which was very smooth, more professional and modern, and everyone was loving it.
And then you moved on to your next app.
Yes. So my next step was great. It was literally the beginning of AI journey where ChatGPT was coming out of the market. So it was AI knowledge base. So simply we connect hundreds of applications like Zoom, Asana, ClickUp, or whatever you're looking for. So if employee have any question, it goes to our application. So IT, tech, or any related, they're like, hey, how can I take PTO, or how can I take off, or I need a Zoom account? Can you create our agent generate that, or looking for approval, and if they get approval is giving the answer. But when everything was working, we were mostly small teams for using our application, and we are like, okay, we are ready for enterprise company, and we literally had almost like 8 to 9 enterprises on our table. And then they're like, okay, cool, we will sign with you, but we need your compliance. Do you have SOC 2, or do you have ISO 2701? I didn't know what was SOC 2. I didn't know what was ISO 2701 or compliance. And I remember I told one of them, I'm like, oh, just give us 1 week, I'll bring the SOC 2 for you. Of course, I didn't know what was it. And when I did the research almost like 4 to 5 years before, so I have to spend almost like 6 to 7 months minimum, and it's going to cost me minimum $80,000 to $90,000, depends, because we have launching. And like this thing, it made us lose all of our deals. because we were not enterprise ready, we cannot sign and we cannot close all of these leads. And then all of them say, you know what, we cannot bring all our company data, which is very sensitive and very, we cannot bring it to your software. Sign that. Unfortunately, this is the problem, and we had to step back.
But that door closed. That door closed for obvious reasons. I saw the writing on the wall with this story because it was that second app led right to this amazing thing you're working on. I'm sorry, Ramona. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this question. Canada has a different healthcare system. It's a very different than here. So you have to learn American regulatory system is a nightmare. And how did you learn? That's my question. Is the American healthcare system is a complex. Even people who are in that field also they have a hard time understanding it.
Absolutely.
Tell me how you learned that system.
I mean, the story actually connects. If you don't mind, I'd like to add a couple of things. Actually, after we lose the company, we stepped down. We realized we are not the only one. Almost like every single small type of companies, they're in this problem. They cannot sign, or they don't have enough money, or they don't have enough time, and they fail. We're like, how we can build something faster, affordable, and more actionable. That's how DSALTA born. And after DSALTA came out, we're like, hey, we have to cover almost like most important frameworks, which one of them is HIPAA, and also some of them is like FDA or SOC 2, or we have 50 plus framework. Compliance is coming from after I started to come from personal kind of like interest. Actually, I'm trying to do CPA right now to even being able to audit the companies. But I will also say, Ramana, looking from Canada's perspective to USA, or from US to Canada, things are not really very different. Almost everything is same. You're like two siblings. We just, literally to Canada and USA is like two siblings. Almost everything is identical. But once come to HIPAA, actually, HIPAA is not that new. It came into market in 1996. And it's almost like it's same thing still apply into today's 2026 branding. And also, actually, HIPAA create a great culture into healthcare. And I'm really appreciating the people that have brought to HIPAA even in 1996, where technology wasn't even that evolved. People doesn't even know what's compliance. Bringing this into healthcare is actually shaping the entire compliance industry. And we can say almost like 80% of compliance frameworks came after HIPAA came out of the market. So HIPAA was one of the early framework. It's been designed for we can say healthcare industry, but it's being taken example by a lot of other frameworks and shaped complete compliance and like security journey for entire companies, especially for healthcare.
So compliance
you're doing fine. Just I wanted 1 second, Susan.
Yeah.
You're doing fine. Don't move too much, and then talk slow. Don't be nervous. We are not going to. You're doing extremely fine. Just a little bit slow it down. We're not threatening people.
No rush.
Susan is a loving woman.
The camera's just moving.
Sure.
So what I'm thinking of right out is compliance is a big word. It's kind of an ugly word. It's a dirty word. You guys were well along in your second app. What it seemed like, here you are, ready to give me some money. We're ready to make this happen. And then boom, you get hit with the compliance bomb. So my question to you is, as you guys are out there and you're pitching like crazy and doing so well, and it's so fun because it's such a needed, especially cramming the stack of compliance, which by the way, it's not just healthcare. You guys, I know you're working with startups across, many industries. But my question to you is, I learned a new term earlier today, vibe coding. This is a cool new thing, right? Start coding while you're, like vibing, and then you get. So I'm teasing about it only because I'm feeling like, at what stage do you vibe compliance? Because I know from my experience talking to other entrepreneurs in my space, they have these fantastic ideas. They're moving on. They're almost at the funding stages or second or third round, and they haven't done this. They're nowhere near where they should be with compliance, and they get, like you said, you got axed. You got axed. So after all of that, when do you suggest? Do we vibe compliance as well as early as possible when you're iterating with a new solution?
That's a great question. Vibing compliance. Like I love the word. Actually, maybe we can use this word in our company as well. Like So in compliance, switch into two parts. One is by force, which is by regulatory, is being imposed by the government or by some regulatory. You have to have it. If you can't have it, you cannot do the business. And second is optional frameworks, which is optional compliance. So by force, by legal is we can count HIPAA, PCI DSS, DORA, GDPR. Those are the some of the regulatory being, kind of like force you to get it. Unfortunately, if you don't get it, you cannot have it. Like, for example, if you're building a dentist app, basically collecting some kind of like customer data inside, if you don't have HIPAA, you cannot use it. You will literally get fined and then you'll be get out of the business. Actually, I have like great stories today to tell you how a lot of companies getting fined and they lose their business, getting multi-billion-dollar kind of like fines and a lot of things. The second part, which is optional, like SOC 2 or like ISO 2701 or 4201, those are optional frameworks and which you can get anytime. So when to wipe compliance, actually, we always advise start from the day one. And depends who's your customer. So if your customer is B2B, of course, trust is the one to work. Like, for example, a lot of like AI made kind of like software development and company building so much easy. So based on the numbers that we are expecting in 2026, 300,000 startups to come into market. So you're as a company, yes.
300,000?
Yes, those are like mix, not just B2B, mix of a lot of different type of companies, but 300,000 companies coming into market. So you as a company, you want to buy certain software. So do you really want to buy software that you don't know who is building this? Are they hackers? Is there a child 15 years old inside this background trying to understand what's going on? Or you really want to believe that this company is legit, is enterprise level? 6 months later, they're not going to go out of the business. So literally compliance is proving all this level is there. So when a company has compliance, it shows you are trusted, you have done your homework, your systems are up and you are ahead of a lot of companies, and you are enterprise ready and you can do businesses. And also, Susan, a lot of time companies not just needing one compliance, they need multiple. Like, for example, in DSALTA, we have GDPR, HIPAA, SOC 2, and actually in 2 months, we are getting ISO 2701 because companies are needing a lot of different things. For example, let's say a company wants to get HIPAA in United States. By law, they have to get it. But also they have software that maybe they have customer in Saudi Arabia or maybe in Germany or other countries. They don't have this kind of like regulatory. They're not going to ask, do you have compliance for HIPAA or not? But they will ask, hey, do you have ISO 2701? Or they will ask, do you have SOC 2 or not? So basically, even though if you have health-related, kind of like software, and if you are presenting internationally and you have customer around the world, I can assure you HIPAA won't be enough for you. So I will also advise kind of like buyer compliant, like looking around how you can get maybe ISO 2701 and also SOC 2. So basically you can, my best advice every time we talk with our customers, who is your potential customers? Is this enterprise or companies or B2C? If it's enterprise or maybe, SMBs, definitely start from the first day because compliance is going to take some time. The SALTA, the good news is
that's all you're like acronyms like crazy to those of us who don't speak, compliance. But the bottom line is, I think not only do you offer the speed, but you're the resource who understands all of those acronyms.
Absolutely.
So it's like stop one, do your vibe coding and then hang out with you guys and figure out what kind of compliance stack is needed, and then come up with the bucks and you'll do it quick, lickety split.
Absolutely. Sorry,
I have a question for you.
Yes,
if I give you a system, would you recognize that system is compliant or not?
So we cannot understand, but what happened, we do have systems, like when you use our technology, we can check how good and compliant your systems or not. And then we tell you what are the gaps and how to fix those. And you do your homework and then you continue using our system and making sure you cover everything. So as Susan mentioned, compliance, all these words are so complicated. Like for someone that you're starting your business, you already have so many millions of things. Last thing you want to deal with most regulatory thing in the world, HIPAA. GDPR, SOC 2, or something like that. So that's where technology came and here helping your kind of like, your companies. So DSALTA, basically, we have this advanced AI models. It connects your system. The first thing, let's say if you use AWS, Azure, Google, or any system that we connect, we check if you have done everything successful. So we are running hundreds of tests in the background. And then if we find any gap, we say, hey, Ramana, hey, Susan, we found some gap there. And also we give you step-by-step how to fix. Like, for example, you don't have multi-factor authentications being enabled in your Google Workspace account. So now go to Google settings, click on MFA, activate for every employee, come back, run the test. That's it. This is the entire step you're going to do. And we have those steps is being designed to even understand by or to employee.
Excellent, excellent. So you can begin with nothing and create the entire stack, or you can come in and do assessment of their current need and find the gaps and then help fill them.
Absolutely, absolutely. Our system, perfect, covers everything.
How confident your AI system platform finds all the mistakes? Are you confident that your AI can recognize all the faults in the system that is not compliant?
So rather than saying mistake, Ramana, we can say it's pieces that is missing. So let's say this is SOC 2 and this is your company. So we're literally helping you to bring your company level into SOC 2 level where you can get your certification. For example, we don't want to say mistake if you don't have MFA. We say, hey, this part is missing. So go do it. So literally you're going to do, or this policy is missing in your organization. Hey, here we go. We have draft this policy based on your company. So now read it and implement it in your organization. Or let's say you have not done your employee security training. Here we go. We have those security training sent to your employee. They have completed, and then we consider this as evidence.
Susan, can you summarize a little bit everything about it?
Yeah.
It's a good idea
Well,
to
no,
summarize.
Dogan just brought up something that was interesting to me, so based on your assessment, do you say that you'll write policy for the individual solution? You'll write policies and documentation as well?
Yes, absolutely. So we cover every single part in your compliance training. The first thing always start with policy. So you connect your system, we understand what technology you use, and then we draft somewhere around like 50 plus policy. So this policy from HR to security, from the data encryption to the password management, or many layer of them. And then you have to read, and then you have to acknowledge and implement it into your organization.
So that's a huge value add, yes. I mean, it's one thing to point out where the problems are and find the gaps, but to write the policy and do the documenting for them as well, that seems to me a major value add. Here's the keys to the bus. Thank you very much.
Do you do real-time monitoring also, Don?
Yes. So one of the good thing is in compliance. So like 2 years or 3 years before, even right now for the HIPAA and the compliance work, everything is manual. So basically you take screenshot and then you put it and then it's done. So inside DSALTA, because let's say if we have integration, let's say Google or Zoom. So basically the moment that you connect, every 24 hours we are running if that test is working or not. So let's say Ramana, you have done activate your multi-factor authentication on Google. Today is being passed and then that test is done. But tomorrow you have disabled that test is going to show it's been failed. So basically auditor knows, hey, you have deactivated this, why? Go this and update it. So also like the compliance is one of the big chunk is security layer. So DSALTA is checking all your security layer, open pores, like DKIMs and different type of levels, making sure all of them is being covered. If you've been hacked, attacked, or anything, we can identify that and we can say, hey, there is something gap here, go fix it, and this is the step how you have to fix it.
So this isn't an ongoing nature. So this isn't a one and done when people hire you. This is something that is running continuously, correct?
So compliance generally can start and finish in 2 to 3 weeks, which you can get your certification like SOC 2, GDPR, or others. But then SOC 2 is not done. So we always advise to keep it up, eye on our applications, check if everything is good, because we can tell you if something is off, and then you can at least make sure you're following until the next year. One thing also, Susan, is good, as I mentioned before. So if you have like HIPAA, but you might have to get SOC 2 or other type of certification as well. So generally what happens, you start from the zero. the good thing about DSALTA with this continuous monitoring, you don't have to start from zero because you have already done everything in the background. So let's say you want to activate SOC 2 or HIPAA or any other framework, you just activate it, boom, almost like 80% is done for you. Now you have to do a little bit tricks that have to cover HIPAA parts or other type of frameworks, and you can done those ones as well in one go.
So, Romana always says out in Silicon Valley that AI is everywhere. Your Uber driver knows AI. Everyone talks about AI. He says it all the time. So, as far as your competition goes in this AI, very noisy AI space, especially out in California, my question is, you are targeting and or coming as a startup yourself to startups. That seems to be your target audience in the pitches that I'm seeing Jon doing throughout this California right now. Is that correct? Are you targeting startups?
So we are we are a new startup, almost 4 months before we just came out of the market, and we already have hundreds and hundreds of customers using our application databases. And our early target is small startup because it's easy to sell and easy to kind of implement and also run further. And of course, in coming years, we'll go more into medium and enterprise level companies as well. But our focus right now is small companies to get more exposed and kind of get more use cases from our customers and get it. AI side is doing a great job. Yes, AI is almost on every level, and I can assure you it's going to be more and more and more after this, which is good because it's really helping our lab, which I can give you one example. Susan, let's say 4 years before, if you want to start your HIPAA. So completing your HIPAA from start to end is going to take you 6 months. But today, if you want to complete your HIPAA from start to end, let's say inside our application, it will take you 1 week. So this is how AI is really helping.
Which is hugely beneficial in the startup stage, right?
Absolutely.
We can all use a little help from our friends, that's for sure.
Susan, what do the nurses use, or what kind of regulatory aspects they get influenced by in the overall system when you're in a hospital or in the keeping the notes? You have some regulations that monitor you, HIPAA compliant, also of course HIPAA compliance is one of them.
Okay.
But do you have any other compliances there for the nurses?
It's massive. There's tons of it. Now, whether nurses are know about it and or know how to protect themselves is a whole nother ball of wax. I mean, in fact, when Dogan said they write policy and documentation, I can tell you that when it comes to compliance in the hospital, I am zero expert in this area. I can promise you, zero.
Yeah,
but I do know that almost everything comes down to the documentation. So, and as a whole, we are not necessarily the best at documentation, but when it's your name or your institution on the Jumbotron, it's going to go back to the documentation and it's going to follow the trail. When you do your root cause analysis, it's going to look at the documentation across the healthcare system and see where they did or did not meet compliance. And so I can tell you, yes, it's multifaceted, multi-layered. Our nurses may be aware of all of that. I'm not so sure. We certainly are educated in HIPAA like crazy. I mean, we have that in every level of education and in our daily practice. We are supported with how to document when, why, and where. But with the speed of AI, I just like something you said, Romana, I mean, it's being deployed so quickly. I'm not so sure that we are keeping up. But again, I'm not an authority on that. So I really can't speak to the big picture, but it is a big deal.
Dogan, I have a question for you for the international. From Canada, United States is the biggest healthcare market. Canada and India, a lot of people from Pakistan and other countries, including Turkey, they want to bring a devices here, some kind of a mechanism. They don't have any background in a compliance system. Do you help those different languages, different people? Communication is a huge problem in general with all these people interacting with the people.
Yeah,
absolutely. So Romana, the compliance that we focus mostly on security layer. So as you know, in the healthcare, of course, let's say one hospital or anything have to maybe follow so many compliance. compliance for employees, compliance for that. But the focus that we have is compliance for security. So as at the beginning, as I mentioned, DSALTA has been designed so easy to use. Literally, we have like beautiful step-by-step guide that tells you what to do. So this step-by-step is being not just designed for company has like 500 employees, company has 2 employees or 1 employee can be done as well. So the good thing that our application is public and live on ChatGPT, Cloud, and also Gemini, which we have MCP server. So basically you can say, hey, I have this task. I don't know what to do. Can you explain or can you convert it? Can you do this for me? So even though if the person has understanding or knowledge, they can literally engage, cloud, like, DSALTA inside cloud or ChatGPT to get a clear understanding. So I know compliance can be complicated. That's the reason we step up and then we are like how we can make it easy. Today, even, when we look at our market, of course, we are not only, kind of competitor that we have, like we have other competitors as well. Why we stood up is literally easy use of our application. That's why our early focus is small companies and startups. We really want to show them, hey, this is the product that we designed and this is the impact that we're generating on them. And yes, so Canada, USA, or other country, you can say almost everything is the same, almost like everyone is continued. But of course, each jurisdiction, each kind of like country, or maybe even the city might have different type of compliance layer that you have to follow them. But inside DSALTA, we cover almost like every major framework, almost everything. Like I teach 95% of the world that need it. So inside our application, literally with one click, you can, and then our AI, and then agents is going to guide you step by step how to complete those ones.
Navia, can you put Dogan is a website under his name, co-founder website? What is your website, Dogan? If you don't mind, what is?
Sure, it's DSALTA.com. Actually, you can see my type, DSALTA.com. It's there. You can even go there and you can see how it works simply.
So you're saying, Dogan, you're saying security compliance is the main one you focus on, right? You're saying. So that's the biggest thing, right? Everybody, all the companies demand security compliance because they don't want a weak system to be exposed, their own vulnerabilities to be exposed. What is this new thing coming up is a mythos that cloud is coming up. Is going to be wipe out all these small companies like yours, or what do you think?
So first of all, I was also following this like mythos. I'm very curious. I'm like, hey, I want to try. Just tell me what's going on, because I also heard that it's kind of like find vulnerabilities and other stuff. But before I go even vulnerabilities, that a lot of companies are doing small mistake. You don't need mythos or assistant. You just can go in their system and look at their background, or any type of black hat hackers can identify this one. Mythos, which based on my knowledge and based on my research, is very advanced level AGI we can go. So this advanced level AI level can go deep in the background. For example, so now you can go maybe a cloud or ChatGPT. You can say, hey, go to DSALTA.com and tell me what technology they use. Literally, you can like filter that. You can say, hey, DSALTA is using Zoom, Asana, this and that. Even this can create vulnerability. Let me give you a true story. So Change Healthcare in 2024, they forgot to activate their multi-factor authentication on Citrix portal. I'm sure that you heard Citrix. So literally, some of the hackers, they found the vulnerability and they hacked their system. Entire US pharmacy network was down for weeks, and they've been fined for over $2.8 billion.
Is it Change Healthcare from Nashville? Or you're talking about Nashville company?
Yes, and yes, yeah. Also, I'm sure that you heard this DNA company. So 23andMe.
23andMe has a problem, yeah.
Yes. They forgot to add a rate limit on their login page. So when you log in, let's say if you log in more than 3-4 times to some application, you say, hey, you can't do this. Maybe you're a hacker or something. And they forgot to do this. And literally after they discovered this, and literally someone hacked them, and 6.9 million people data has been leaked. And literally next week, they have put a bankrupt, and right now in 2025, they're business. And there's a lot of story like that. A small mistake can be, destroyed. Mythos can help it find, even though right now a small, like this agents that we have, like ChatGPT or Gemini, can find a lot of information back there about the companies. So based on my knowledge, Mythos can do way more beyond stuff for us.
It's crazy. I read something, kind of nothing that huge, but somewhere today that an AI agent was asked to disclose a social security number and it wouldn't, but then it was asked to send the email that the social security number was in, and it said okay. So
Oh my God.
Wow.
yeah, I'm like, whoa. I mean, things that how do you can't think of it all. So again, compliance and security, I don't know how you could possibly keep up.
Absolutely.
It's going to
So
be there.
actually, I can say this is not a weakness. Yes, maybe there are a couple of stories, but this will also help us to enable more better layer of security. So if I go to Mythos saying, hey, look at my company and is there any gap? And if it's going to tell me 5 of them, and then if I ask them, hey, fix me now. So now I have like way more higher security. So yes, maybe it creates some vulnerability, but also create a great advantages for much more safer environment for all of us.
Mm.
Great job. You're doing an excellent job, Dogan. I think we need this kind of a compliance. Me or Susan or we don't like those kind of headaches. We want to give to somebody else. Hey, don't bother. Just tell me is it compliant or not. It's like these systems bother us. We are deviating from our core subjects. But anyway, I'm a physicist. I'm going to present a topic on ultrasound, and you will know a lot of ultrasound machines come to the compliancy things. One of the most important thing is going on in the worldwide market is ultrasound is coming to particularly cardiac ultrasound. So everybody wants to bring it to the iPhone, the security. The thing is security compliance is very important. All my couple of my friends started cardiac ultrasound in a small iPhone. They need a lot of security. I'm going to present a topic on the history of the ultrasound and how you can eventually get in and then help those people. How do you clear that compliancy requirement around them? Okay, so let me bring my topic that, and after that we come back and talk a little bit more about your compliancy. Okay, if this is the Edwin Hubble is a if you can jump in anything, this is a story of Edwin Hubble is an American boxer. Can you believe this? This guy is a combination. He's Oxford trained lawyer and he became a famous astronomer. In 1930, what he discovered is through physics, he discovered that universe is receding in a faster pace, accelerating. We're all falling apart. Everybody is going away from each other. That's in an accelerated pace. That is called the effect is called Doppler effect. That what we brought to the human body, inside the human body, the Doppler effect is that whether it's actually is based on whether object is moving away from us or coming towards us. That is the way it is called. It's coming towards is a blue shift they call, and going away is a red shift. By that shift, they can determine whether that particular thing is coming towards us or going away from us. The same thing in the blood flow you can do in the human body, whether it's coming, how fast it's coming inside towards you, towards the probe, or going away from the probe. That can determine the blood flow. It can give you a lot of anatomy in the structure. So that is a Edwin Hubble. That is so actually the Doppler effect was discovered by Christian Doppler in the 19th century, and actually you can see that the Doppler effect you hear every day in the ambulance passing by. Navya, can you play that ambulance one? That one. Play that. We hear all the times this one. So the sound is the sound is not changing. The sound of the is exactly the ambulance producing same sound. What you hear as an observer is coming in, coming out. So when you are coming in, it is a very high pitch, and then when it's leaving, is a low pitch. That is the Doppler effect. It can tell you a lot of story. What your ears detect as a pitch, ultrasound detects as a blood flow. That is a very phenomenal understanding That is an ultrasound, the principle of ultrasound is. So in this one, the classification, there is a several waves. You see waves in light waves. Light is a both particle and wave. So gamma waves and alpha waves, all the waves. Sorry, gamma waves. Then you have a microwave, radio waves, and then light waves. All of them are they're under the light waves. Come under light waves. Those are electromagnetic spectrum. The next one is sound waves. Sound waves need a medium. It goes through a medium of sound waves. That is, and then water waves. Water waves. These are all gives you information. It's a scientific information. You can measure something through these waves. Waves give you water waves, for example, gives you oceanography, ocean currents, and all those things. And then matter waves is atomic quantum physics phenomena, and it tells you the position of the electron, all those things through the matter waves from the quantum physics. Matter is also electrons and protons can produce waves. They have wave characteristics. So wherever there is a wave, there is a Doppler effect is there. Then you can measure it. That's the great thing about it. So the story begins with this gentleman, Don Baker. He is a very interesting guy. He is born in Alaska in 1932, and he was working in the U.S. Air Force in the Korea, and then he worked for a while in the Korean War as a radar technician, and then moved to Seattle, Washington, University of Washington as a technician. He was an engineer. He was studying engineering there. He is a very he revolutionized the entire industry. What he did was he combined them with multiple departments, like engineering and medicine, along with Don Baker, he- along with cardiologist Dr. Rushmer. They got together. They wanted to create a cardiac ultrasound. That is their goal. Susan, that's your field. Cardiac ultrasound, that's the one they want to create. So it's a multidisciplinary field. Physics, mathematics, and engineering, and all these fields are involved. So it is really a great thing
Like, you have a
to
bunch
the
of feedback, Ramana.
huh?
Is that your mic with a bunch of feedback?
Could be. Can you put a mute, Dogan? Okay, let us see.
There we go.
Yeah, your mic is
Better.
his microphone is a little bit. Um, uh, there was in the beginning only sound they can hear, Doppler sound. That's all they can see. But even though they hear the sound of the blood flow, they hear the sound of the blood flow. They can detect so many high velocities, abnormal backward flow. They can tell a lot of things about anatomy of the heart, even with the sound itself. Doctors, that's a power of the mind of a medical field, like if Susan or doctors, what they do. They can hear the sound and can tell what's going on. That's why stethoscope, can tell you a lot of things. So he's advanced stethoscope with this kind of a thing about the heart. They figured it out. That's a first attempt they did. But then they advanced into, there was another innovation came in from Europe, that it is a Don Ion Donald is a physicist, and Tom Brown is Ion Donald is a OBGYN doctor, and Tom Brown is a physicist. Together they created a first image of the B mode, they call, don't worry about technical words, brightness mode, in 1959. That is a really first picture of the baby. That's an actual picture of the first baby ultrasound. In Scotland, they did University of Glasgow. That was the image. They got it from ultrasound. So they created an image that they took it, but that Don Baker took that thing and then created a hot image. He used a motion mode. He came up with a new methodology, new mathematics, while the motion can create a structure. So the blood flow is moving. It follows the blood flow and then create a structure of the heart. It is really amazing mathematical engineering feat. They came back with the heart ultrasound first time they see. So seeing is really first time they see the heart inside without opening the heart. Until that, we don't have any other way. Open heart surgery is the only option at the time. But there is a one problem they found out is a continuous wave Doppler. They use a continuous signals, ultrasound send the signals continuously and create an image. But the problem is when the blood flow is coming back, the ultrasound is coming back, reflecting back the sound package. The problem was sound is coming back. They don't know exactly where that is coming from back. If there is a tissue in A, tissue B, tissue C, it cannot differentiate where that tissue is that sound is making. So that's a bigger problem in the continuous wave Doppler. It could not able to distinguish the location. So Don Baker came up with a brilliant idea. He was working as a pulse, is a radar technician in the U.S. Air Force in Korea. That's what he found out is they were sending pulses of ultrasound. So they send the radio waves, actually pulses. They send it's not a sound waves, they're radio waves that they're sending. But as a pulses, the pulse goes there, hit the raindrop and comes back. Wait until it comes back. They tell you it is coming towards you or going away from you because of the distance, the time. So that is a brilliant idea. He came with the radio waves. He said that we can do the same thing in ultrasound, in the sound waves. He implemented in the sound waves, implemented it. That is the pulse wave Doppler came in that revolutionized the cardiac ultrasound, revolutionized the entire ultrasound, ATL. So those are the machines I used to buy, actually. It's not long time ago. It's the 1990s, actually. So I used to buy those machines and sell to the doctors. He started in Seattle, Washington. You start a company in the garage, Advanced Technology Laboratories, ATL it's called. And then from garage to global impact. That is, ultrasound is the only way you can see the entire heart without surgery. You can see the motion of the heart. It's an amazing equipment. They came back with ATL became a world famous. It became a very global impact. So it became a global company. It is 14 countries, 60 distributors, 24 patents. The 1 billion first time before Jeff Bezos, before Bill Gates in Seattle, this company reached $1 billion. That is ATL, Advanced Technology Laboratories, produced the first ultrasound, cardiac ultrasound and OB/GYN ultrasound. I used to buy them quite a bit. Well, Ultramark 4, for example, is a standard for the OB/GYN patients. And I did a cardiac Doppler. I used to buy that, ATL. Philips bought this company later on for billions of dollars, few $100 million. But it's an amazing things they came out and it became world famous. So my friend, Dr. Nanda, took this ultrasound. He was instrumental in writing the echocardiography course. He wrote a first book, Atlas of Color Doppler Echocardiography. Thank you, sir, if you're watching. Namaste. Dr. Nanda is a pioneer in the echocardiography education. He trained thousands of doctors and thousands of students, technicians in the echocardiography, in the cardiac Doppler. He is a professor of cardiology in the University of Birmingham, Alabama, and he is a president of Association of Cardiologists of Indian origin. I'm very closely associated with it. So his contributions, he also found out the pulmonary valve, Susan. He discovered the pulmonary valve. They didn't know how to find it through echocardiography, So his contributions to the echocardiography is immense. So he is all over the worldwide famous. So that ultrasound, the first ultrasound of cardiac Doppler was in the Smithsonian Institution as a very landmark invention of the United States, America. It was put in the Smithsonian Institution. Nobody knows his name, but he revolutionized the cardiac disease, cardiac management, cardiac detection, and the treatment of the heart disease. So his name is Don Becker. He really changed the world silently as a biomedical engineer. So now Jeff Bezos put the legacy of the Doppler. Name is synonymous with the Seattle, so they put the Amazon headquarters is called a Doppler building. It is legacy. It reminds us about the Don Baker's contribution to the world. Thank you for listening. Let me bring my guest. So there is how do you like, Susan? This is your field.
I like it a lot. I've been doing a lot of work in Echo Labs these days. I've been doing, as you know, I've been training sonography teams across our country. And so I've spent a lot of time in that area, and it's fascinating. I love the part, and I'm sure Dogan can appreciate this, from the garage to global, right? That's
yeah.
That's
It's
kind
great
of the goal.
innovation.
That is what you need to do.
That's the goal of every startup, from garage to global. So I'm on board with that myself.
When you mentioned your Gallon app, I caught my eye immediate. That is such a powerful app. The idea came up as a 19-year-old or 20-year-old, whatever it is, the age at the time. He came up with solving that problem in Dubai. That's the same problem in all other countries, India, China, any other country. There is a big problem, water problem. And really he came up with this idea as a brilliant, in my view. So you are extending that brilliance to now solving this amazingly complex US healthcare system loss. So tell me, what do you want to do? What is I think she put your website there, I think. Did you
They'll
put
find it.
yeah,
DSALTA.com. Pretty easy.
yeah.
So
Is a name under name is a website DSALTA.com, right?
yes,
DSALTA.com, right?
yes, exactly. DSALTA
So
stands
tell
for
me,
Data Standards Access Logging and Tracking. Basically, anything data related that we cover. DSALTA.com is the one.
tell me again what the abbreviation is. Tell me the
It's a
abbreviation.
long acronym. Is Data Standards Access Logging Tracking and Assurance.
Oh my God,
What?
it scares us.
It's really trying to cover every single layer of compliance as much as possible, so it can be more democratized, and making sure every level is being and covered by the evidence inside the compliance.
So what is your next plans? This is you want to meet a lot of who are your clients? The typical clients for you?
Sure. So our clients right now is, especially going after small startups, has like less than 100 employees, because the problem is real. They don't have enough time or maybe money, and they need to go quickly, or they don't have enough knowledge about compliance. So it's perfect for us, and we want to implement and then start from there. And we're just going like crazy. Even on my calendar, I cannot find time sometimes to just join others, but we want to start scaling, especially by end of this year to starting next year, to a little bit more medium companies that has 500 to 1,000 employees, and then slowly and gradually going to enterprises.
Very good,
Very
impressive.
Yeah, no, I can think of several occasions with entrepreneurs. If you go to conferences like Vive or Health or any of the bigger conferences, the healthcare and health tech conferences, there's people out there with amazing ideas and wonderful solutions. And I have to giggle when they're halfway through how far along they are, and they have not looked into some. And when you're dealing with, especially something that's going to be used in clinical spaces, there's a lot of great ideas out there, but they don't do their compliance homework first. And I find that they've spent a lot of time and a lot of excitement and even money and energy to discover that it's going to be a no-go based on the compliance. I mean, people want a video, I'm like, whoa, yeah, you need to call Dogan, because I'm pretty sure that's not going to happen. So when do you suggest they get a hold of you?
Well, anytime. So please feel free there. I'm going to share my LinkedIn as well. So send me a message. I love chatting and building new friends and extending my network. I'm very chatty as well. So if you have any message or anything, any questions, just shoot me a message. I promise I'll back to you, and then I can give you more information. And even though you can go our website, you can set up a demo, and we can just basically see your system, and we can tell you, hey, how we can customize your platform, or what do you need, and what are the steps that you have to take it before, so we can give you a customized demo of our platform as well.
You know, those are a lot of people register. You know, actually, I want to tell you, a lot of people registered for this event. I was surprised. You know how many low this is the compliance problem. Everybody feels that, oh, this headache, I need to get rid of it. You know, so a
Absolutely.
lot of people register for this. They're watching you, so that's a
Thank
good
you so
thing.
much. Thank you
So
so much.
yeah,
Let's not forget the added value that they're going to write your policies. Dogan, you said something like 20, 30, I don't know, 50 policies. I want to cry. I mean, the time it takes to write one policy, and a meaningful one, is
I
a big
mean,
tell
deal.
me what the policy is. I'm lost. Susan, tell me again what is the policy is.
Well, once they go through and find the problem, okay, so everything in the world that happens, if there's a problem, we'll use healthcare, then the regulating body or whoever is finding the problem, they're going to say, okay, let's look at the policy. So
Oh,
the policy has to reflect the action of the service or the action of the individual. And if the policy doesn't match if the policy does match what happened, then the organization is safe. But if the policy
yes.
doesn't match what's happened or what they've found, they've got a problemo. So to have that, and writing policy and creating policy requires hours and hours and research and the resources that have to be updated. If you look at any policy from any organization,
interesting.
the resources they've used might be from like 1802. So I mean, keeping policies up to date, keeping the resources that the policies are written from, having AI do that is a huge value add for any organization.
So Dogan, AI understands these policies, understanding, not meaning of understanding. It has a,
So yes and no. So AI is not just blindly doing the work for you. AI is checking your system and your configurations and everything, and then basically customizing. Actually, I don't mind sharing my screen, like giving like 5 seconds of our application, how it works and how those parts come along. Is that okay if I share my screen for 5
less
seconds?
than 2 minutes. If you can show me a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we can close with that so we can get an idea what it looks like.
Yeah.
Sure. So this is DSALTA's platform. So basically, when you start yes.
We're not seeing it yet.
Share that again one more time.
Sure.
Oh yeah,
There we go.
right. We got it. We got it.
Okay, I think I stopped it, so let me do it again.
No. Okay.
Yes, it's going to come now.
Yeah.
You got to be tech savvy around
Yes.
here.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is DSALTA's platform. So as you can see, there's a lot of different type of frameworks, and this framework changes based on your need. And today we were talking about HIPAA. So let's say if customer needs a HIPAA, they basically activate it and they can go HIPAA needs. So basically, hey, what are the steps that your company have to complete? So those are the areas that HIPAA covers, and each of the layers that we have provided. So each of them, you have to provide unnecessary evidence inside it. Inside DSALTA, we give you everything that you need. So inside the onboarding roadmap, as I told you, we tell you, hey, step by step, go this, do this, and now come to the second part. So we tell you all the step-by-step things, and so you don't feel like you're lost. And then inside DSALTA, we give you every single thing that you need, from the policies to other things. So as you can see, here are the procedures and here are the policies that we have designed. For example, access control policy, asset management policy, or business continuity and disaster plan policy, code of conduct policy. Each of them we have designed it for you with our lawyers and auditors. So you simply have to read and you have to approve. This will be enough. So policies are one part. And as you can see, we have like documents, test, risk, vendor management, inventory management, vulnerabilities, incident, code changes, like training. I don't know, like even though we have training, so where you can implement this training to your employees, you can track your employees' device information. You can check which employee have complete their security training or not. Did you upload their background check? So simply you can track all of them inside our thing. And when you're ready, you just invite your auditor, and auditor looks at everything, says, you know what, you're good. That's how this platform works.
Thank
Wow.
you so much. Let me take the.
It looks
these are
amazingly
really
horrible.
Of course.
That's all so horrible. And you know what? I say that, with tongue in cheek, of course, because anything to do with compliance, risk, and policy is always a very long, arduous ordeal. So really amazing, and congratulations on you and your team, and you and John for putting something together to make life easier when it comes to compliance.
Thank you so much. I
Thank you,
appreciate it.
Dogan. You did a great job, and bringing our world of compliancy to the front lines. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining from Toronto, Canada. Okay.
Nice to meet you all. I
Let's keep
appreciate
in
it.
touch,
Bye-bye.
and
Sure.
we
Take
can
care,
help
Dogan.
you any
Good
way we
night.
can.
Take care. Good
Thank you.
night.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Bye.
We are retelling their stories through our patented designs that can be worn on scrubs, t-shirts, printed on conference bags, and endless other promotional materials. Daily Wear for Medicine is the first ever of its kind to create curiosity in medicine through visual art. We at MedBricks are celebrating unsung heroes of the past who made enormous contributions to the field of medicine through our unique campaign called Daily Wear for Medicine. You can wear it, carry it, and give it